What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my journey to medical school, and then once I'm in medical school, I'm going to be sharing my experiences. And then as for the pre-med route, I'll be sharing some tips and tricks on how I got into medical school my first time applying. So I graduated from high school in 2017. And I immediately went to college. I was accepted into the undergraduate college of my dreams. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go due to the lack of funding, so I ended up going to my state university. It was a great experience. Honestly, I wouldn't have changed it for anything in the world. I was able to stay near my boyfriend at the time, now he's my fiance, and I was able to just kind of like get my feet underneath myself and save money. I ended up applying to medical school this past year. I took my MCAT in July of 2020, and I submitted my primary AMCAS August 1st. It was verified in the middle of September, and then I started getting all my secondary applications. I ended up submitting my DO primary application, the AACOMAS, in the middle of September as well, and then I got my secondaries pretty fast. The DO primary application takes a lot less time to verify than the AMCAS, so that's definitely something to think about as well. So I ended up applying to 31 MD schools and 6 DO schools. This was my first application cycle, and obviously now my only application cycle, and so it was definitely a learning curve trying to figure out how to do everything, like enter all your extracurriculars, do the personal statement, all of the secondary applications, kind of all the nuances that go along with it, and hopefully I'll be able to share some things that I learned along the way through my application cycle that I kind of wish that I knew going into it. It would have made it a lot simpler. So I mentioned I had a little bit lower of an MCAT score. I had a 504. And I know what you're thinking, yep, it's not the greatest, and honestly, that's okay. I was so discouraged after I got my MCAT score back. It was the day after I submitted my primary application, and I remember I almost withdrew my application. Yeah. I think what really sets your application apart isn't your scores. It's how you talk about the things that you've done, and the way that you portray your passion for medicine and how you want to become a physician. And the way that you interview is also incredibly important. So AMCAS has you put your most 3 meaningful experiences on your application. Mine were probably different than a lot of what most applicants put on it. My first most meaningful experience was that I was a National Olympic weightlifter. And this took up a lot of my time. So I know that probably my application didn't entail as much clinical and volunteer hours as the majority of applicants do. But I think that this experience kind of set my application apart. Being a competitive Olympic weightlifter, I learned a lot of things that I wouldn't have learned in other experiences, and I think this will actually really help me transfer over to being a medical student and being a physician later on. My second most significant experience was a clinical experience that I did in between my junior and senior year of my undergraduate career. I did the Atlantis Fellowship, where I went to Burgos, Spain for 3 weeks and was able to shadow physicians and observe surgeries. My rotations were neurology, trauma, and orthopedics, and then general surgery, which was such a great experience. I'd always, thought that I wanted to be a surgeon, but being in the OR and seeing all of those surgeries and witnessing, I got to watch the Da Vinci robot perform skirt surgery. The surgeons talked me through a lot of the stuff that we were doing. They were very eager to teach, and I got to actually have direct patient contact, especially in the neurology department. I talked with a lot of the patients during the neurology exams. The neurologist taught me how to do a neurology exam. It was really a really great experience, and I got 60 clinical hours from that experience, and I was able to meet, my cohort was 9 other students, and a lot of them I still talk to, you know, see them on Instagram, and it's really cool to have that kind of group of like like-minded individuals in this place where you are experiencing a different culture and you're learning about medicine. It's just a really, once COVID's gone, I recommend that experience wholeheartedly, because that was one of the greatest moments of my life. I probably wouldn't have gone to Europe. And then my last experience was my research experience. I work in a research lab here at Portland State, and we study alpha crystallins in the eye lens, which is a very small heat shock protein, and its role in the formation of cataracts. So we look at it via a cryo-electron microscope, which is like a very big microscope. I can't say microscope right now. Microscope, and it shoots electron beams on its end to get this picture that you can analyze and eventually turn into, I don't know if you've ever seen those protein structures that you would get from like a like X-ray crystallography or anything like that. But you end up getting a 3D picture eventually after a lot of data analysis of the protein that you are looking at. And it's a really great tool for possible drug therapy targeting and just being able to determine the molecular mechanisms of these diseases. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm going to be having a lot more videos coming up soon. I am hoping to do them every other week. If there's anything that you want me to talk about, just put it down in the comments. I would really appreciate if you would subscribe and like this video. Thank you guys all for watching so much. Have a wonderful day. See you again soon.